Hello, thank you for listening. This is the near-death experience of Judy, and her experience occurred on December 16th, 1967, and was documented on July 15th of 2017, open quote. I was on the stretcher going down the hallway of the hospital. I was being rushed into the emergency room during a traumatic premature birth after an auto accident. I heard the doctor say, "Look at her, give her oxygen." Instantly, I was in a dark tunnel or void in space, clutching onto the sides of the stretcher. I was not aware at first that I had left my body. I felt like me and was holding on. There were beings around me. I thought, what about the baby? The beings answered in my mind, "It is his time to be born again. If not to you, then to someone else." I instantly knew that reincarnation was real. Even though ultrasounds were not used at that time, I knew that this birth was a male. I had other questions that were also answered by the beings. They answered almost at the same instant that I asked them. I had forgotten the other questions and answers now, except for the last question. I was asked, "Do you want to continue this life or die?" I thought, what's death? The light began to show me. I knew without a doubt that death was not an ending, but a wonderful opening to my real life. I would be more knowledgeable and live in unconditional completeness and love. I remember feeling almost unworthy of such an indescribable, unconditional love. I was in awe of how much love was enveloping me. My next thought was, I have not been in this life that long and have not shared very much love yet. In that instant, I re-entered my earthly body. I was shaking uncontrollably with joy to the point that my teeth were even chattering. End quote. Wow. That's pretty great description there, Judy, and an awesome experience. Let's see. There's some questions here. Question: at the time of the experience, was there an associated life-threatening event? Answer: yes. Clinical death. I was a passenger in a head-on auto collision and went through the windshield. I required a complete blood transfusion. This resulted in a traumatic premature birth, 7.5 months, as I was pregnant at the time. The NDE happened during the childbirth. Question: how do you consider the content of your experience? Answer: both pleasant and distressing. I lost awareness of my body. Question: rating the highest level of consciousness. I knew more. The knowledge was instantaneous and fuller. I was aware that if I went through the light, all caps, that I would have even more knowledge. I also knew that I would not return if I chose to go through the light. I was at my highest level of consciousness and alertness on the beginning awareness of an entry toward the light. The light had presence, intelligence, and complete, pure, powerful love. I knew this was God, the unnameable. Question: comparing your vision. When I first entered what is commonly called the tunnel or the void, it was dark. The only vision I remember was the light. Wow, all caps, 3 exclamation marks. What is real changed forever for me. Seeing God includes feeling and knowing His complete love. Comparing your hearing. There were 2 non-physical entities with me in the beginning of my NDE, when I was still in the dark and before seeing and coming into the light. When I thought a question, I would hear them answered directly into my mind without the need for using ears. I knew those answers were truth. Question, did you pass into or through a tunnel? Answer, uncertain. There were no walls. It felt like being in a space in the universe. I felt that I was spiraling in a tunnel-like space. At first, I was spinning more slowly at first, with the speed rapidly increasing as I came closer to the light. When I got close enough to the light to feel the unconditional love, the spiral movement and all feeling of time had stopped. Question, what emotions did you feel during the experience? Answer, at first I thought I was still in my body and holding on to the sides of the stretcher where I had been placed by the medical professionals. Later, I lost awareness of my body. I knew I was separate from my body and felt surprised that I was still me. Question, did you suddenly seem to understand everything? Answer, this knowledge was instantaneous and more complete than what is known on Earth, where we are more physical than real. Question, what did scenes from the future come to you? Answer, scenes from my personal future. This was stronger for a short while. I would know who was going to call before the phone rang, who was going to enter the room before they arrived, what someone was going to say before they said it, or what they were going to do before they did it. This lasted for several months after my NDE. I may be slightly more aware of those things now than I was before, but no longer as exact or frequent as it was directly after the NDE. Question, did you come to a border or point of no return? Answer, I was given a choice. I returned to love more. Little acts of kindness and love are more than they seem. Every action and reaction we have met. Question, what importance did you place on your religious/spiritual life prior to your experience? Answer, slightly important to me. Question, what was your religion prior to your experience? Answer, unaffiliated, nothing in particular, secular. I had gone to Christian Protestant Sunday school and church during elementary school. I was baptized at age 14. I rarely attended church in high school and not at all after high school. Question, have your religious practices changed since your experience? Answer, yes. I know God is real and afterlife exists and we are so loved. God is mercy and love. There is no hell which we do not create ourselves. Church is not necessary, although it awakens spirit in some people. All life requires love/caring. Fear is illusionary. Only love is real. Question, what importance do you place on your religious/spiritual life after your experience? Answer, greatly important to me. Question, what is your religion now? Answer, other or several faiths. The knowledge, capital K, was given to me that God is universal. God is more than all earthly religious dogma, which often misrepresent through misunderstanding or other human reasons. Question, did your experience include features consistent with your earthly beliefs? Answer, both consistent and non-consistent. I had not believed in reincarnation before the NDE. I had not realized God as light. Question, during your experience, did you gain information about pre-mortal existence? Answer, yes. Reincarnation is real. There is an afterlife. There is much more to life than we know of on this planet we live on. Little things mean more than we know. Love is real. We stay our true selves when we leave our body behind. God is the most supreme being. Love is the most powerful force. I may have known these things prior, but was unaware of the truth of these before my NDE. Question, during your experience, did you gain information about universal connection or oneness? Answer, yes. We think in terms of Earth. In reality, God and we are more than that and part of it all. Question, during your experience, did you gain information about the existence of God? Answer, yes. God is complete, unconditional love. God is pure light. God is larger than religion. God is larger than earth and earth's culture. God is science, all knowledge / intelligence, and beyond description. God loves us more than we can imagine. Question: during your experience, did you gain special knowledge or information about your purpose? Answer: uncertain. Love is important. How it is acted on is our choice. A job can be a means, but is not the purpose. Question: do you believe in an afterlife after your experience? Answer: an afterlife definitely exists. Yes, the body is temporary, but a wonderful gift to use to transport us through this physical life. I do far less grumbling about our miraculous bodies now. Even so, the particular bodies are not needed as we continue on. Question: did you gain information about how to live our lives? Answer: yes. We do not ask many questions of other beings about themselves when in the OBE, because we accept what is in the moment as they accept what is about us. As I often say, it is what it is. Question: during your experience, did you gain information about life's difficulties, challenges, and hardships? Answer: yes. I can accept challenges and hardships, and we all have them, with less resistance now, believing there may be some greater good behind what will be learned. Question: what life changes occurred in your life after your experience? Answer: unknown. I do not believe it is necessary to go to church or practice religious rituals to be saved. Love and kindness through our action and reactions count, no matter how small it seems at the time. Question: have your relationships changed specifically because of your experience? Answer: yes. More patient. Don't stress the small stuff. I am still not a saint, though, and not always as loving as I intend. We do live in this physical world. Sometimes it is disappointing how little we seem to have unified on earth in terms of spiritual development. Seems to be changing, though. Change happens. Question: was the experience difficult to express in words? Answer: yes. When I had the experience, I had never heard of an NDE, yet I still expressed immediately what had happened when I returned to my body. I told my new husband, who was by my stretcher at the hospital after I had returned from giving birth. My husband thought perhaps that I had been given drugs that caused me to hallucinate. I insisted to him that there had been no time for drugs to be given. I explained that what I had just experienced had been more real than this, meaning the earth body experience. I also told my mother and her friend when they arrived at the hospital. My mother's friend had had a similar NDE. One difference was that my mother's friend had spoken with her mother, who had passed on. I had not had family members that I knew pass on yet. My own mother's mother had an NDE during a childhood illness. One difference in hers was that she was held by Jesus. Both my mother and her friend accepted and believed my NDE experience, and it was the first I learned that others had experienced life beyond this one. Question: are there one or several parts of your experience that are especially meaningful or significant to you? Answer: God's love and presence. Difficult to explain the intensity and wonder and peace. Question: have you ever shared this experience with others? Answer: yes. First reactions immediately after the NDE described earlier. Over the years, I have shared with others when I felt compelled to do so. Most accepted the truth of it. It does not matter to me if others did not accept it as truth. One day, each of us will experience it. Question: what did you believe about the reality of your experience shortly after it happened? Answer: experience was definitely real. It is truth. You recognize / know it and feel it. Question: at any time in your life, has anything ever reproduced any part of the experience? Answer: yes. After yoga in Savasana, when practiced regularly with spiritual intent. End quote. and experience. Judy, that was pretty awesome. And not only that, occurring in 1967, you've had a lot of time and you're developed a lot of wisdom, and there was a lot of wisdom in your words, and I appreciate that. And particularly about the little things and how they mean a whole lot more. I like to think that as well. I appreciate you, and thank you guys for listening. I hope you have a nice day.